Heck, maybe if you pick Zerg, Kevin, maybe he'd still be the freaking best. Who knows?
What we do know is that this is going to be the final cast of the season for Benjamin and myself, so we obviously hope it's going to be one hell of a series. In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of our Canadian Zerg player, representing the Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett.
And the face of Ting for many, many a moon, it is Neeb.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say the face of Protoss Mech, and I was like, hey now, Ben, he does get Warp Gate, okay? He gets Warp Gate all the time.
Don't worry, Kevin, you hold that crown, although it's kind of... Is it really a crown?
Mate, you're laughing. But, okay, you're laughing, okay? But in my defense, both Hellraiser and Skillet have been busting out builds this season where they completely skipped Warp Gate and only went for +1 air weapons and then even +2 air weapons. So it's really becoming a thing.
Wait, against what race?
Hellraiser did it against a Protoss, and Skillet did it against Zerg a couple of times on Blackburn. And I think Goblin has also done it a few times, but most of the time he does get Warp Gate. And makes me very upset.
To say it started off as a meme thing for you, it really took off. Like, it's actually not bad.
No, like, but yeah, I know you're laughing, but it actually makes sense. If your plan...
Of course I'm laughing. Like, if you don't plan on making a gateway unit, because, you know, if you don't invest in them, they suck. Why would you get Warp Gate?
And if you only stay on one gateway anyway, like, what are you ever going to do? Warp in one slow zealot at a time? Like, it doesn't have any impact. So, Protoss Mech is a thing, guys. It's not a thing very often. Are we going to see it in this series? I don't know. I highly doubt it. Neeb, in 99.9% of his games, probably does open up with Warp Gate. There is a good chance, though, we were joking about it in the break, that we are going to see a 40-minute match somewhere in this best of 5. Because that is honestly kind of a tradition at this point. Scarlett sometimes will just accept the fact that she can't break a Protoss, and then she will embrace the late game. And Neeb, if he knows that somebody is embracing the late game, he's like, oh, I actually embrace this too. And he is completely okay with mining out the map and going down to 20 workers and sitting there with 1 million batteries, High Templars, and Mothership, Tempest, and Carriers.
I mean, there was that one occasion when he went down to 1 worker, I do believe, Kevin, in which he got coined the Fist of Neeb, having a true 200 supply Protoss army. Quite the scary thing.
That was at BlizzCon, right?
It was definitely somewhere. Like, I think it was against Rogue.
Yeah, it was at BlizzCon.
Did he won that map, right?
Yeah, it wasn't even close. We had Graviton Catapult back then, Ben. Graviton Catapult was the thing.
He actually had it.
Yeah, he did not forget to research Graviton Catapult that game, let me tell you that.
Oh, poor Todd, man. Like, when I saw that thread, I was like, wow, that's a lot of comments for just that. Like, I said some dumb things in the past. In fact, I continue to say dumb things in the present, but hey, these things happen.
Void Ray first here for Neeb, followed up by an Oracle. Meanwhile, Scarlett is just doing happy macro on her side of the map. One Overlord does get picked off. There's a very good chance that we're going to see double Stargate on this map. I think it's a good map for it. And we know that Neeb obviously does not shy away from making a lot of Stargate units. But I say that as we have extra gateways going down, a lot of them. And Neeb may actually just switch things up and try to catch Scarlett off guard with a lot of adepts. And Scarlett, her name at this point may very well be A-moved by carriers. A long time ago it was adapted, and she could very well get adapted this game.
Definitely could. This Void Ray already getting 2 Overlord kills. One is kind of a given, the one that's scouting Neeb's base, but then goes over to the opposite side of the map, gets another one. Definitely not a bad start for that Void Ray. I do like this opening from Neeb, by the way. It's a little weird, and oh no Spore and no Queen by this base. Great start for Neeb so far, I'd say.
Yeah. Great Oracle movement by Neeb, actually. Somehow getting this Oracle to the other side of the map completely undetected. Taking a weird route as well, so he didn't fly over any creep noise, didn't give the heads up that he was coming in from that angle. And Scarlett didn't even know that Oracle was going to be the follow-up. Now at this point, it's nothing but drones for Scarlett, but of course he does have quite a few safety queens. There are 7 of them out on the map at this point. Scarlett is going to try to get a little sneak peek in the natural of Neeb. Doesn't see a whole lot. What he does see so far are 3 adapts. Is that enough to make the alarm bells go off? I don't think so. Going up to 58 or 59 drones is not bad, but once you go up to 66 drones, then you could be in some serious trouble.
Oh, and she knows about it now, Kevin, and the Roach Warren has finished, so she can start some roaches, but that's only 3 on the way, and that is a hell of a lot of adepts coming across the map.
Yeah, there are 13 adepts on the map. Scarlett doesn't really have too many links out yet, but with 8 roaches, and don't forget about those 8 queens, there's definitely some potential. Nice little wall off here. It's actually going to make the shades derp, kind of like this play by Scarlett, but there's still going to be a lot of firepower in all these adepts that do, of course, have resonating glaives, but Neeb not really fighting with them yet.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious about Neeb's decision-making here, with the adepts at least, because it's like, does he go? Does he not? Does he feel he's done the damage already? Trying to do some stuff with the Oracle as well at the same time. I like just using 2 adepts here to pick off a few drones.
Yeah, but it's safe to say that this attack did not really get done what Neeb was hoping for. Now, Neeb is transitioning into double robo at home, and Neeb is actually economically ahead, and that's always a good place to be as a Protoss. But Scarlett does have the freedom now to just crank out a few more drones, and despite the fact that maybe the initial start against the Void Ray Oracle wasn't perfect for Scarlett, I think this phase in the game actually went very well for her.
Yeah, it's got to be said, though, Neeb didn't fully commit, right? Like, he still kept all those adepts alive. I know they don't scale super well, but it's only going to be a matter of time before these Immortals really stack up in count.
They could actually get in there. Nope. Scarlett is actually playing like a PvP here, where you just keep a probe on patrol to make sure that you can warp in a pylon over and over again. A couple of roaches are going to chase out these adepts now. They go all the way home. Meanwhile, Scarlett dropping her own infestation pit and a Hydra den. Do you think there is a world when Neeb also drops a Robo Bay in the near future?
I think there's a very probable world, actually. Like, those 2 Robos that he has, it'd be lovely if you could utilize them even further to counter the inevitable Hydras, I suppose.
Templar Archive.
I think I was about to say it's going to be Lurkers, right? And yeah, as soon as I asked that, it was like, Hive, Lurker Den goes down.
Yeah, so Neeb is going with the old school way. Like, I always think Immortal Storm against Lurkers is kind of funny. Sometimes I'm like, I think this could really work, and then they just get obliterated. I think it really just comes down to the amount of Lurkers, and engagements are very, very important there. I've always been a slightly bigger fan of just getting Disruptors against Lurkers. Obviously, Vipers are pretty good against Disruptors. Immortals and Storm can definitely get the job done, but it becomes very important that you're mobile. And, you know, we joked about a 40-minute game, and this may not be like the triple Stargate opening that often gets there, but this is definitely starting to look like a little bit of a split map scenario where if Scarlett gets a bunch of Lurkers out, I don't see Neeb really breaking it on Scarlett's side of the map.
Yeah, 14 Ravagers all at once. That's definitely a good, respectable number of units, but she is getting caught a little bit before she wanted to, using the Ravagers to break these force fields. That's nice, but those Immortals in the back, oh my god, this is slow lots for a long time.
Yeah, they're going to be slow zealots for quite some time. These corrosive balls are connecting with the sentries, and Neeb's army is really not that good to chase roaches and ravages on creep. As an Archon gets picked up, the Warp Prism could be in trouble, and Neeb knows it, so he moves it away immediately. Immortal gets picked up. Nice micro there by Neeb, but it's just not a good army to fight on creep against ravages.
Certainly not. He was denying the gold-based mining with just a handful of adepts. Like, I think that was just 1 or 2 adepts over there, so that was something. All things said and done, Neeb wasn't all in with this. And we do see that he did secure the top right base with basically no trouble at all.
It is nice, of course, to get up to 4 bases, but meanwhile Scarlett is on 5 bases herself. And even though the mining was a bit disrupted at the gold, I don't think that was the end of the world when you already have 76 drones. Scarlett feeling confident enough to make her way to the other side of the map, checking to see if Neeb took the gold. The answer is no. Do we have any stasis traps here? Seems like the answer is also no for that one. Scarlett tried to get lucky there, killing the Oracle. That's not quite going to work out. These High Templars don't have Storm yet. It's a bit of an awkward moment for Neeb, because Neeb's army really doesn't have a lot of micro potential. All you can really do is just shoot and run backwards. But it is going to be good enough, especially with Storm finishing up in the near future.
How do you feel about Scarlett going for the double upgrades, by the way? Very often I don't see a lot of Zergs go for these armor upgrades as well, but she's going to have real buff lurkers and hydras sometime very soon.
I think it spells a late game for us, Benjamin. That's what I think.
Beautiful. It's only 11:30 here, Kevin. I got the whole night, baby.
And he does have a prism in the bottom side, but seems like he's not very eager on setting that in, as Scarlett left plenty of roaches and queens behind. That was an ambitious base by Neeb.
It was an ambitious base, Kevin, and it didn't get cancelled either, as Scarlett ran up to it, then shot it with all the units at the same time. Nice move.
Yeah, I don't think Neeb is in any danger of dying because he's got a very powerful defensive army, but that kind of stuff definitely does start adding up since he's nowhere near maxed out and you don't have any money in the bank. Then losing 400 minerals can probably let it happen once. Nice feedback on one of those Vipers, but you don't want to have that happen 2 or 3 times because then you could very well start struggling to max out in the first place.
I like that Neeb's plan is to go air here. Like, he's throwing down 2 extra Stargates, getting the upgrades as already with the +1 air weapons and the fleet beacon. It's just nice bit of foresight. I hate it when Protoss has switched to air, but don't get the air upgrade with that cyber core that's already on the field.
Yeah, you hate that, Ben?
I hate that, Kevin. Maybe I hear a certain caster talk about it way too much, you know?
Ever since
nice
Lambo
form.
started making fun of me, I don't do it very often anymore, but we have a storm go down as the lurkers do get a couple of decent shots off. A lot of these barriers have been activated. Neeb's army is really not good, by the way, because he's got a lot of army supply in Zealots, but he does get a decent surround. A lot of High Templars coming in from the back. All right, the army at the bottom is a lot better than the army at the top. And that is going to be a full cleanup as we had a cannon and a battery too. But while this is going on, we do have roaches canceling the Nexus one more time. I was a bit worried because Neeb was down a lot of army supply and it was a lot of Zealots. And with Zealots, you can't really always get the engagement that you're looking for. But since Scarlett basically walked herself into a trap, the Zealots absolutely shine.
Yeah, that was a Scarlet sandwich. Definitely was. When you were saying Neeb's army isn't that good, I was like, Kevin, his army is real scary to me, but if you're only looking at the top one, it makes total sense. That was a poxy army. By the way, Tempest, what do you think about this?
Late game.
Just late game, that's all you're going to say?
Yes.
Isn't it weird to start off with those, or is that like the best choice you can make?
I mean, they're obviously very good defensive units. It's very hard to attack into Tempest. Like, if Neeb was dreaming of being aggressive, then it's a bit weird to start off with Tempest now. Tempest into Void Race, but yeah, against Lurkers. I mean, Lurkers have a lot of range, but so do Tempest.
I mean, I like where this game is going because they're both obviously powering up in a lot of ways. Scarlett's taking the 12 o'clock base. She's taking the south base as well, the one just in front of her main and natural. That is wow, I was about to say that was a ballsy group of High Templars there, just kind of stood right next to it. But Scarlett taking this time to pounce on the south base.
Yep, again, by the way, this base already got killed once, it already got cancelled once, and Scarlett is definitely going to get another cancel, or maybe a kill. It's going to be a kill. He probably wants to get on top of that a little bit more. First Tempest does get abducted. Good job by Scarlett. Also does an amazing job in avoiding most of these storms. I'm still not a very big fan of Neeb's army, but yeah, indeed, before I was mostly looking at the Zealots. I was like, that's not that good, but all these Templars with all the energy, that's a bit better. But Neeb has just a random army where if Scarlett can get on top of it, oh, Neeb's army is in serious trouble.
Yeah, but can she get on top of it? That's the question. Like, these slow zones make it so hard for her to kind of pounce on it, despite having the creep there. And Neeb looks like he's very comfortable with just being patient, throwing down way more shield batteries, more cannons, more Tempests as well, maybe most importantly here.
Yeah, what's the Viper count? Only 1, and Neeb does land another feedback, and that's very annoying for Scarlett, because you can see that Scarlett really does want to fight. She probably looks at that army and is like, I can see a world where I wipe the floor with this army, but yeah, you need to get in range. And that is so damn difficult, especially against someone like Neeb, who I do really class as a late game master. I've seen Neeb keep a mothership alive against Scarlett once for like 22 minutes against a bunch of Corruptors and Vipers. I'm like, well, that's the first time ever. It's not minus 400. Scarlett is getting a couple of Dropper Lords, by the way, and I think that's a cool move.
It definitely is, because that's something you wouldn't expect. Is there ever a thing where you can get like Niduses and make it crazy, like a late game ZVT, or no?
If you want to make it crazy, Ben, we can make it crazy.
I mean, this is getting crazy, honestly. Like, this Stormy army is very, very strong, I feel, if it fights next to static defense. Which it is doing.
Slow zones! Slow
Yoink.
zones and storms is a very ugly combo for Hydras. Scarlett lost a lot of supply there, but it does mean that she can start building Corruptus. What are we going to do with our Dropaloids? That's what I want to know.
Got to be some lurkers somewhere, surely. Maybe ending up behind bases or in the main.
You know what's cool, by the way, is that even though while all of this is happening, you look at the army of Neeb in the center, you're like, okay, that's an annoying army to engage, but is that really it? But then you take a look at the top right side, and you're like, wow, cool, Neeb. He's got Archons and like 4 High Templars with a lot of energy. Just very casually chilling. One thing is for sure, Neeb does not abuse F2.
Neeb certainly doesn't. So that's why I've been judging his army improperly. It's because you're like, you're not judging the whole thing, the whole picture. Like, I'm adding the cannons and the shield batteries to this as well, you know? He's got a sick army, man.
I'm just glad that when I F2, my cannons don't move. Otherwise, that'd be real embarrassing.
Oh, dude. I wish that my Ravens could go on observer mode or something, because I'm sick of having to not F2 when I make a Raven.
Neeb is going to make a mothership, the very first one. Now, in a lot of scenarios in the past, I was like, yeah, I don't like it. But with Neeb, I know that I just have to like it. He's honestly very good in keeping them alive. He's excellent in just dropping revelations on the Zerg army and feedbacking the Vipers over and over and over again, and even with the Tempest. So the first game, like, I don't know for how long this is going to go, but it really does have the potential to be a proper long one. Because Scarlett will look at all these batteries and cannons and be like, I can't engage that. And Neeb will look at the army of Scarlett and like, I don't have to engage that.
But who do you benefit this for? Like, right now, I'm feeling that Neeb is... Like, this feels like a comfortable game for him. Like, he's survived now. He's got his army in the good positions. The creep spread's pretty wild by Scarlett, to be fair, down the middle of the map. But Neeb doesn't really give a damn about those areas, I feel.
No. Neeb is just looking at the amount of bases he's mining from, and he's like, yeah, that's good. That means I can get carriers for days. We do have one abduct on a Tempest, so that one will get picked off. The Oracle does not go down. Like, I do not believe that Neeb's army right now is good enough to really win a fight if Scarlett truly goes for it and it's away from static defenses. But Neeb is very good in just never fighting. He's really good at dancing on the edge of fighting, but then not actually fighting. And I know there are some Zergs out there that will say that you just don't beat Neeb in games like this. Because that man, I mean, some people say patience is a virtue, but Neeb is taking it to a whole nother level.
I love these little, like, 3x3 blocks of shield batteries that he's making with cannons and stuff. Like, that is one Artosis pylon if I've ever seen one, Kev. Okay, he did add the second pylon. But I mean, this is so obnoxious to play against if you're any Zerg on the planet, surely.
That's how I always feel that. Neeb is like, so you hate carriers, huh, Scarlett? Well, I'll make everything but carriers. You know, it really doesn't have to be carriers. I can also just storm. The mothership is here. Let's play a minigame, man. When do you think the mothership is going to go down for the first time?
You know, I'm going to guess that it's going to be at minute 22.
I think actually at minute 20. Even though Neeb is very good at keeping them alive, I feel like Scarlett is going to look for it and Scarlett is going to find it. Right now we are at minute 19, by the way. This counts as minute 19.
Okay. I was close to changing my guess. No, I'm good with minute 22, Kev. I think, does it... Okay, what if Scarlett leaves earlier?
What? How's Scarlett gonna leave? She's got 7,000 minerals and 5,000 gas. What do you think is gonna happen, Ben?
Well, Kevin, there's this thing called rage quitting, and I gotta say, this army and this playstyle of Neeb is rage-inducing at the best of times.
Well, I have 40 seconds left for my prediction, and Scarlett has only one Viper out, so I think your prediction is a lot better than mine.
What can I say? I'm the prediction goat.
Yes, you are. It pains me to say.
Oh, yeah, we duked out on the same day. It was a beautiful day as well. This mothership, he's doing a very good job of how to use it as well. Like, he's not just flying it in and being sloppy with it. That's a lot of static defense. Holy crap, there's so much static defense.
Yep, here come the Void Rays. Scarlett is setting up maybe a bit of a flank. Her Corruptors and Vipers are on the top. Scarlett just has a bit of everything. 18 Corruptors, 11 Lurkers, 7 Infestors, 3 Vipers. Entering minute 21. Mothership, well, maybe a little bit exposed there, but the Vipers were a bit too far in the back.
Would it ever be worth having a proxy nexus as well?
Just to recall to?
I mean, I was thinking more shield
Or
battery
overcharge.
overcharge. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
if you have
at this
5,000
point,
minerals in the bank, yeah.
like this base down here, why not take it?
Well, he will, don't you worry.
Proper alpha move right here. He's getting blink, getting plasma shields. Level 3 is that? Level 3 as well, yeah. Neeb's a rich boy. In fact, they're both rich.
Scarlett not maxed out, by the way. Neeb is going to lose a couple of probes to roaches. I even forgot we have roaches on the map, as we do have a nice storm as well on these drones at the gold base.
I mean, that's definitely something by Scarlett. Oh, and Neeb took this 6 o'clock base as well. I mean, this truly is one hell of a map here.
That's what it is. Neeb's gonna get a nice block of extra shield batteries at that base that you felt like he should take, and I think he will take it. I think there is also a good chance that the Tempest are just gonna kill everything. Look at where Scarlett built all her production facilities, by the way, in her main. It's almost like she knew the kind of player that Neeb is. She's like, I'm not gonna build anything on the right side because I know I'm going up against Tempest. Neeb's getting 5 more Stargates, and I'm pretty sure he already has 6, right? Yeah, he's going up to 11 Stargate.
This is, Kevin, this is shameless. This is some shameless gaming. And yeah, the Nexus is going down as well at that forward position. And I mean, what does the Zerg do? Okay, what do you think if you are the best Zerg in the world, what can you do against this slow, methodical approach here?
Well, I think it's very important to maybe get some value out of the mobility of the units that you have. So maybe the Lurkers could have made some magic happen at the top, trying to outmaneuver the Protoss army. And I know recall is a thing, but the recall is often not big to recall a maxed out army. But just try to create some chaos or be hyper active with Corruptors and Vipers and look for abducts non-stop. Dropping Parasitic Bomb or Fungals is pointless, right? Because there are way too many shield batteries. Neeb currently has 36 shield batteries on the map, and he's building a bunch of extra ones. So, I think you
I love this. Yeah, I love this crawling that he's doing with static defense, but I also love the stasis traps as well. I know that's mainly the air army that he has to worry about, but so annoying to play against is this.
Scarlett is gonna pick off a couple of these shield batteries in the center with her Hydras, but that's about it. As Neeb is now gonna make his way into the natural off Scarlett. Both flyers are here, by the way. +3 flyers is close to finishing up. Not quite. Both of our predictions were wrong, by the way, when it comes to the mothership. It's going strong, staying alive.
You know, I've heard so much about -400, and I just want to say, what propaganda. Oh! I tell you what, the 22 is a pretty damn close guess.
You could not have timed that any better, my goodness. I've heard so much. Bam, there it goes. Now, Neeb is in a bit of an awkward spot. Scarlett did run into a bit of a stasis. That's so many oracles, by the way. He's got 5 oracles with his army. If the Lurkers can get on top of the High Templars, this can definitely get dicey. Neeb may have to recall some of these units, doesn't he? I absolutely think he
recall
does.
the whole army. Yeah. Oh, you know when it got called strategic recall, Kevin? I think this is exactly what they were hoping for. Just being able to recall your whole army. Wait, where did he recall to? He could have recalled to just out here, actually, couldn't he?
Yeah, well, he recalled towards the bottom by the looks of it. Now, let's not forget that Neeb still had an initial defensive army that's not chilling on the top side. While all of this was going on, that tiny army did take out an entire base. This has been Neeb's A-team, man. The Archon, the 2 Immortals, and 4 High Templars on the top side of the map. Meanwhile, Scarlett is going to chase some of these expensive air units down, some good abducts. Scarlett only has 19 drones left and 1200 gas, which really isn't that much.
No, and I mean, she has been making a lot of infestors and stuff. In fact, the resources lost tab is obviously in Neeb's favor because he's been so patient with it, but Scarlett's gas is completely gone here, Kev.
I absolutely love your speech about how the mothership doesn't die. At the moment you finish your sentence, it gets abducted and it dies.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mothership. Like, I really wasn't a blessing there.
There is almost a new mothership, so we'll see how long that one will last. Scarlett has been able to max out, and it's 181 army supply for Scarlett at this point. She is still very low on the gas. She's really not mining from a whole lot of extractors. It's only 2 gas at this point, her income. But she has done a good job in breaking all the static defenses of Neeb.
Oh, wow. Where did all those points pop out from? I guess Okay, 11 Void Rays. There it was, 11
Oh, he
Stargates.
forgets. Parasitic Bomb is big here as it does connect with some of these Void Rays. Unfortunately for Scarlett, it was only a single Parasitic Bomb, but Scarlett still feels confident he can fight this army. I want to say it's a little bit awkward near the gold minerals, but obviously those are completely gone. Now, Scarlett wants to get her lurkers on top of this. There are Brutalers too. You can't recall anymore, can you? I think it's still on cooldown.
Do you think so? Okay, yeah,
Yes,
he's got just a few seconds left. So he just needs to buy a little bit of time here, which he's doing. He's as far away from the Brewlords as he can be, while still being kind of safe. Parasitic Bomb goes down. There's a big surround by Scarlett, though.
Yep, Neeb is going to recall most of his Void Rays, but a lot of them actually go down before the recall truly went off. These Immortals and Archons will go down. I mean, Scarlett still has more army supply, but I am definitely very worried about her gas income. You don't want to lose that spy. Scarlett can't really afford to lose it. And it gets saved by the Broodlords. Alright, Neeb is now going to fire up 7 Tempest and 4 Void Rays.
I'm not entirely sure how I feel about more Tempest, because he's already on 6 here, Kev, and actually he did cancel a few of them here. So he's already on 6, cancelled a bunch of them, and now he's just going into 11 Voids at a time. Standard game.
It's actually kind of smart because Scarlett doesn't have many spellcasters left, and the main reason why you can't really normally mass Void Rays at this level is because Infestors and Vipers absolutely annihilate Void Rays. But it's really hard to build Vipers and Infestors when you've got 71 gas in the bank and another Viper goes down. Oh no, it's actually really bad for Scarlett.
It certainly is, and those Broodlords, they're getting kind of cocky here, I would say, but I feel that this is the beginning of the end here, Kev. Like, Neeb's done such a damn good job of just making this game as annoying as possible for Scarlett.
Yep, there's an overcharged battery as well. A couple of storms go down and a few Void Rays will fall, but that's not it. The reinforcements have arrived. So many extra Void Rays showing up from the 11 Stargates that Neeb had up and running in his main, in his natural. And Neeb takes the 1-0 lead after 28 minutes on Blackburn.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't go to the bathroom before this series, Kev, because I feel like this is definitely going to be a long one.
That's sarcasm.
Oh, that was blatant sarcasm, like super sarcasm.
If you really have to go, Ben, I can drag out the intros for a little bit. Don't worry, I got you.
That's good. That's good. Likewise, Kev, likewise, because I think we're in for a long one here. I don't know what the second map would be, because this was Scarlett's pick, by the way, Blackburn. Like, she did that to herself there. That feels even worse, right?
Nah. I mean, she tried early on to make something happen. It's kind of funny how this started off with Neeb making 13 adapts with Resonating Glaive, shedding them to the other side of the map. Scarlett had some good defense, and he was like, well, then I just don't do anything. Then he just sat there on Immortals and Storm, which can be a bit dicey if you really want to be on the offensive. And he tried once, ran into the Ravages and the Queens. And he's like, nah, none of that. More batteries, more cannons, and 11 Stargates.
How come I don't see you make this many offensive batteries, Kev?
Because I'm pure, Ben.
You feel this is dirty?
Oh, absolutely.
But you know when it's like little Neeb behind it all? Doesn't it just make it pure again?
That is true. Neeb can touch things and remove them from all the dirt and make them shine again like they are brand new and very pure.
I feel like Neeb could mana mule me and I wouldn't be mad, you know.
No. Do you think Neeb ever mana-muled in his Terran days?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. We should ask him.
I think every Terran has tried it at one point in time just to get a sense of what it's like. Because you think it's harmless, but then you get the reaction, and it's obviously not harmless at all. And you're like, oh, dear, not doing that again.
It is not harmless, but perhaps we have an opportunity to ask him if he does win this series here in the upper bracket finals of the DreamHack Masters NA playoffs. In the top right side, we're looking at the main base of the American Protoss representing Ting. It is Neeb.
And over in the bottom left, representing the Shopify Rebellion, it is Scarlett.
Now, after a game like that, I have a hard time believing that Scarlett is completely okay with playing a game like that again. I think if Scarlett finds herself in a similar scenario, she's just going to close her eyes and fully stand it run into cannons, run into batteries. If it gets to lurkers, just burrow those lurkers in the Protoss face. And even if it's ugly and it doesn't work out, then at least he tried. What I do think is really funny, though, is that Neeb did not build a single carrier. Not one, Ben.
No, I mean, let's be real. I don't think Neeb is an A mover, actually. Like, I know everybody attack clicks, but when I think of A move Protosses, Neeb isn't one of them, you know? So the whole A move by carriers thing, yeah, doesn't even apply to Neeb.
No, but like, we're joking a little bit, but I'm actually kind of curious about it. Because carriers are normally... Carriers are better than Tempest and Void Rays, aren't they? Unless Neeb just feels that, no, I actually don't think carriers really add a whole lot. He did, of course, have a lot of Storm. And carriers and Storm don't go that well together. But normally, you still just see carriers, but...
I mean, ever since Max Pax forgot about Graviton Catapults, I feel that carriers are going a bit out of fashion.
I mean, they are definitely quite a bit weaker without Graviton Catapult.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But no, I'm actually with you, Kev, because I was looking at that Neeb army, and the whole time I was like, especially with the static defense creeping up, all the stasis traps as well, it was as annoying as you could be, and it didn't even have carriers with. And it didn't look like he was missing them, right? Which is weird to say.
It looked like the real backbone of that army wasn't the Tempest, it wasn't the Void Ray, it was the combination of Storm and batteries. Where it's just like, if you want to get on top of these units, because Neeb's army in a way felt a bit flimsy, or it felt like if it gets really engaged or fully surrounded, then it can die. But how do you run into an army that's just stacked on Storm? We're not talking about 3 or 4 Storms, but you're talking about Storm for days, like absolute days. It feels like, that's very hard to run into. I gotta say, like, we're joking a bit, but it's actually pretty sick how Neeb just made Protoss look invincible.
Without carriers as well. Like the one unit, the Scarlett's got a name tag after, but yeah, no, and Kevin, I'm not even joking. That army comp that he did, I was like, I don't really know what Scarlett could have done. Maybe like making the game way more hectic with...
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's not as if he was lacking defense anywhere, because there was static defense everywhere, and he was hiding with like a few Archons, Immortals, and High Templars and stuff at different bases. So even Ultralisk run-bys and what have you, that I see a few Zergs do, wouldn't do anything.
No, run-bys maybe not so much. A few Ultras to tank. I mean, it's good against carriers. And obviously, like anything to tank against Tempest is good, but Tempests are not really there to win the fight. That's what Storm and Void Rays are for. It really, I think, comes down to spellcasters. I do think one thing we can say Scarlett was lacking time and time again was the Viper count. I feel like at best she ever had 3 Vipers, and then one of them often got feedbacked immediately. So having a few more spellcasters available. Like, we never had the ultimate wombo combo of Parasitic Bomb and Fungal Growth at the same time, which is obviously very hard to land against Revelations and all these High Templars, but I still kind of feel like that is the only way.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that this map, whenever you can get an Oracle behind the main and natural, it's always kind of nice for the Protoss, because it's 2 bases to poke at, right? With the stasis trap constantly and stuff. And this game, Neeb is opting for quite a few extra Void Rays here. Still going for the Twilight Council and stuff fairly early on, but it's a super fast third from Neeb this game, so definitely a bit of a different pace from him.
Oh, could be a big stasis. It's a decent stasis. Gets a couple of drones in the end. Good reaction by Scarlett. Could have been a lot worse. 2 adepts is the magic number to one-shot drones, and I don't think Scarlett has a lot of units in position to deal with it. Neeb is normally really good in getting max value here. Good reaction by Scarlett, but that was honestly the best Neeb was ever going to do there. 2 drones, that is all he will get, but still a decent trade since he's not relying on these adepts anymore.
I know Zergs can creep ahead in drones at this part in the game, and that's exactly what Scarlett's going to do, but Neeb's greed and ability to be safe this game at the same time, it definitely looks like his PvZ is a real scary, just force to be reckoned with. Oh, that Oracle. Okay, I'm glad he recognized it.
Don't want to lose the Oracle too early on. This is very good game sense by Scarlett. Scarlett's going for a Spire, by the way, so I have the feeling that is for Mutalisk. because this is not the kind of game you ever want to build Corruptus. Neeb is not stacking up on 3 or 4 Stargates. Neeb is gearing up potentially for a strong ground attack, though. We've seen Protoss players have a lot of success with this, where they open up with a couple of Void Rays, then they make 1 or 2 Immortals, and they have a lot of Zealots and Archons and a War Prism and an Observer, because that is a L'Explosion de Gateway, if I've ever seen one.
It certainly is, certainly is. These Void Rays still being annoying, stopping these Zerglings and stuff from taking down rocks. And the Oracle still being a pest at the back of that base of Scarlett's there.
That's nice.
I like what both of them are doing, man. Like, I like Neeb's build a lot. And everything I'm seeing from Scarlett, I like the fact that she's being greedy while also scouting quite a bit. But I am worried for her.
I'm very worried because he's going to go up to 80 plus drones. Now Scarlett does get a decent scout in the main base, drop a changeling too, fires up a couple of roaches, but I really hope he doesn't think a couple of roaches is all he needs, because he's going to need a lot of roaches. He needs more drones on the way. Drones and spore crawlers is not what Scarlett needs here. Scarlett needs all the roaches, man. All of them. No, Corruptus, no!
I think she's misread this, right? Like, that's so many queens that she's making as well, and boom, this army is outside of base, and when the Zerg is almost out supplied by the Protoss, that is not a good situation to be in.
No, the supplies may be even, but Scarlett has it mostly in production or in drones, and that's not going to help. Queens are good, but not against an overwhelming amount of Zealots here, and it's Neeb who goes for a completely different tempo in Game 2. In Game 1, Neeb had all the patience in the world. In Game 2, he thought, instead of batteries, what if I make some magic happen with Zealots? And even that, I really thought that when Scarlett had an overseer in the main base and dropped the changeling,
clued into it, right?
Yes, he started a couple of roaches. Scarlett had a bit of a bank. I'm like, all right, now she's going to hold down that roach button, and it would still be a difficult hold, but maybe with nothing but roaches, then all these queens helping out buying some time, be like, yeah, I can see Scarlett hold here. Unfortunately, she made a couple of Corruptors, then went into even more drones, and then, yeah, and it doesn't really matter how many roaches you build at that point, you're too late, all the queens will die, and then roaches alone can never get it done.
What do you think the 3 Corruptors was for? Do you think that was to get up a big Corruptor count, or do you think it was to fend off a Warp Prism that she thought might be happening? But she saw, like, the Chrono Boost happen on the Twilight, saw the Forge right next to it upgrading. I know you can go into a Protoss base and scout, and you can see that happening. You can be like, oh yeah, of course, because they played greedy early on. They can use the Chrono Boost on anything. But when you're playing against a player like Neeb, I think that has to spark a few alarm bells that he's trying to whip that out as fast as possible.
I don't really have an answer for you. I mean, it would obviously take care of that Oracle, and if Neeb would go for a slightly later attack, yeah, you can definitely right-click it on the Prism, because killing a Prism with Ravagers can be a bit tricky against someone who's as good as Neeb. So just clicking a few Corruptors on it, but it could help out a little bit against the Voids, but I don't think that really matters. Like, what matters is against the build that Neeb was going for. The Voids and the Oracle, they're not that important. It's all about them Zealots, and it's all about the Archons there. And if Scarlett would just hold down that Roach button, defends that attack without too many issues, then I think Neeb is actually going to struggle a little bit in going up to 4 bases. And if he then starts cranking out Immortals, that could open the door for maybe a Muda transition, because Neeb was only on 1 Stargate.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting game. Like, it was a lot of build-up, right? And then into a push from Neeb, but Neeb was very good at masking what he was doing this game. Like, the constant Oracle harass was really cool. 3 or so Void Rays. It didn't feel like Scarlett got... Well, she obviously got a bit bamboozled here, so I must be thinking, or I'm thinking that Neeb did a good job just hiding what he was actually doing there from Scarlett, and maybe just giving her a few false signals there. It's always a bit scary going up against Neeb, because you see that you can play the late game super well, and then boom, this kind of timing as well, like just changing the gear, changing the pace, and this was definitely a curveball from him.
It's almost like he puts you to sleep with the way that he plays in Game 1, and then in Game 2 you're already dreading the late game, and you're already thinking about what you're going to do different and which spellcasters you want to build in what phase. Then you blink twice, and then 20 Zealots show up with +1 as well, I believe, and a couple of Archons backed up by some Void Rays from the early game. And then it's over, and now we're heading back into ultimate late game Neeb territory. Jagannatha. I've seen some long ones between these two on this map in particular, Ben.
Me too, Kev. Me too. I'm looking forward to it though, because I think the game so far they've been interesting. I mean, especially that Blackburn game. That was a really cool late game. Anyhow, spawning over in the bottom left of Jagannatha, representing Ting, it is Neeb.
In the top right side, we're looking at the main base of our Canadian Zergi, representing the Shopify Rebellion. Sees down 0-2 and needs to turn it around if she already wants to secure her ticket to the season finals. This is Scarlett.
It'll be an interesting one here on Jagannatha. I mean, obviously a very long map. We've seen a lot of long games in this matchup in particular. Can Neeb do what he did in the first game? Absolutely, to some extent, but I think Blackburn is a little trickier to attack on than it is on Jagannatha as a whole.
Oh, don't tempt Neeb, mate. Don't tempt him. Because I've seen way more shield batteries on this map than I've seen on Blackburn. If you guys joined us later, we had a pretty fun day. We did 4 best of 5s in the European department of the DreamHack Masters fall, and then we just had Australia versus Master as well. Clem is in the top 3. He's going to duke it out with Gabe tomorrow in the lower bracket final of Europe. The winner of that series will move on to play against Sarah, who's waiting in the grand final. You ready to just sit back and enjoy the games tomorrow, Ben?
You know, I've already gone to the system blog at Kevin. Bought a whole lot of beer just to enjoy the whole frickin' day. It's going to be glorious. And it was kind of interesting that we've had more balanced race distribution in the top of Europe, such as 1 Zerg, 2 Terrans, and 1 Protoss in the top 4. Those are going to be the representatives at the season finals.
Yeah, I'm obviously a bit happy to finally see a European Protoss representative. It took 5 seasons, so it's really cool to see Max Pax break into the top 4. Bit unfortunate that the series against Clem went the way it did for him, but I still think he can be very proud of top 4. I'm excited for tomorrow, man. I think Gabe against Clem is often fireworks, and I think whoever advances to the grand final is going to put up one hell of a fight against Cyril. That's going to be fun. And of course, tomorrow night, after Europe is done, we're going to get ready for the grand finals of NA as well. There will be 2 series. The lower bracket final, the loser of this series versus Australia, and then the grand finals.
Yeah, we've definitely got some crackers lined up for us. And yeah, when you talked about they're going to fight up against Cyril in the European final, they're going to have to bring it real damn hard. Wow, a Baneling nest to start things off? I mean, I like it, Kev.
A Baneling nest. A relatively early Baneling. This is like an in-between Baneling nest. It's not super early, but it's early enough for it to obviously be a big commitment, especially if Scarlett starts building nothing but Zerglings, and that is currently what's happening. These kinds of things can be a bit hard to scout, but Neeb is really good. And Neeb doesn't need to see a whole lot to see it all. What is this? Adept Shade C. It spots 2 Zerglings, 1 drone there on the left side. I don't think Neeb has picked up on anything yet.
He is heading back home, though. Like, I'm very curious what comes up on the production tab between both these players. But he's heading over to the 3rd base, which this makes me think that he doesn't know exactly. But that Adept does pop out in pretty damn good time.
At this point, Neeb doesn't know, but even if you don't know, you can still stabilize his Protoss because the Void Ray is about to fly over the Banelings, and the timing is really good because now Neeb can actually kill Banelings. What Neeb should do is full wall off immediately. Neeb needs to shade and full wall. He is not going to shade. I think that's a little bit silly. The wall is a little bit late. Can the Lynx break through? The longer this goes, the worse it gets. There is an Oracle out. The Adepts are going to get surrounded, but Scarlett needs more than these Adepts. She needs to get into the natural, and I'm afraid that ain't going to happen.
Wow, okay. I mean, nice crisis management by Neeb. I know we didn't do the shade off, but it would probably died to the Banelings anyhow. And Scarlett, she was after more here, a lot more.
Yep, Scarlett does find herself in a scenario now where it's 3 bases against 2, and Neeb doesn't have a probe out, so Neeb would have to kill one of his own buildings. But it seems like Scarlett doesn't give a damn. Scarlett just wants to try to go ahead and win this game. There's an Oracle that's going to fly to the right side. There was already an Oracle hovering above these Banes. This ain't going to work, and Scarlett knows it.
Yeah, I think so. Look, and GG is called. The 3rd game